Well, you've just joined me for the match day live, and West Ham officially qualified for the round of 16. Yes, we should have put the ball in the back of the net. Probably, I'm not even remotely going to joke here when I say what I'm about to say, but confidently 5-0. I'm not even joking. Like, we had really, really strong chances, and I think that's the negative that Moyes will walk away from this game tonight. Is again, there's the opportunity to convert chances, but we've done what we need to do. We've done what we set out to do, which was win the game. Now, we won the game 1-0, 53% of the possession to Silkeborg's 47% as well. We had 15 shots in total to Silkeborg's 3, but for me, it was a completely dominant performance from West Ham. It really was, and it was just the difference of putting the ball in the back of the net, which seems to be the story of our season. Really, it is completely the story of our season. The pluses, though, are that lots of players got some game time. I thought players played well. I don't think we can really turn around and say it was a crap performance from West Ham, because it really was not a crap performance from West Ham. It was actually a very good performance from West Ham, and I swear to God, if we'd have put the ball in the back of the net, we'd be sitting here absolutely going ballistic. But there is a big difference. There really is. It will come. It really will. I do believe it. People probably might think I'm a bit crazy or mad or whatever, but I'm so adamant that this opportunity will come, and we'll start putting the ball in the back of the net. Like I said, we will be getting live reaction coming from the stadium, so bear with us. And I'll also give you an opportunity to come on and have a chin wag with us as well. So keep your comments coming in and let me know your thoughts on the game itself. I'll start bringing you some individual stats. If you want individual stats of players, then please let me know. I will go through them as well, and I'll let you know what everyone, how they all kind of performed individually tonight. I heard a stat in the game. This game tonight had over 1,000 passes in the game in total. West Ham had 656 passes to Silkeborg's 594. What I will say is Silkeborg must have played, I don't know, the majority of those passes in their own 18-yard box. They really rode their luck tonight. They really did. And like I said, Moyes looked a little bit aggravated at the fact that we didn't put the ball in the back of the net a bit more. Several chances throughout the game to do that, and chances that would have given players a lot of confidence as well. But like I said, pluses where Aguerd had a fantastic game. He has quality on the ball. He is everything that David Moyes has said and more. Okay, let's respect the opposition. We are playing lower level opposition. That's understandable. I thought we were extremely comfortable tonight. We never really rode our luck. I suppose we rode our luck by not scoring more goals, but we were extremely comfortable on the ball, and that is the positive I'm going to take from that game tonight. All the players got a run out. Aguerd was good. Connor Coventry had a fantastic game as well. Really nice to see him in the middle of the park. I thought Lanzini had an effective game. Ben Rama had an effective game. So, yeah, really good stuff to talk about. So many people in the chat. Let me jump into the chat and see what everyone is saying as well. Moyes will be happy. Fans disappointed. I don't know, Mandy. He didn't look too happy from what I saw from the images on the screen. I think he looked a bit frustrated, and his frustration really is about the ball in the back of the net. I'd be really intrigued to hear the post-match press conference. Yes, I think he'll be delighted, and we're delighted we've done the job. We've got ourselves through. It was convincing. It just, the scoreline doesn't show it's convincing, but let's not beat about the bush here. It was a convincing result. It absolutely was. It was a dominating performance from West Ham. And it was a nice, easy win. And I think disappointment in terms of, I think if we had put the ball, question to you if you're watching just now, if we had put the ball in the back of the net 3 or 4 more times, we would be absolutely buzzing tonight. We did everything bar put the ball in the back of the net. We played free-flowing football. Silkeborg never caused us a problem at all. They really didn't. Like, there was nothing for us to necessarily worry about in this game. So let's just remain positive. Let's take the positives from it. We're through to the round of 16. That was the objective of this Europa Conference League. Now what West Ham do is we put this competition to bed until March. Yes, we have one more game to play against Bucharest next week, but we put this competition to bed until March. We can utilize the squad. We can utilize the young players. We have an opportunity now to really maximize this squad and focus solely on the league up until March. And that's a great position for West Ham to be in. And I'm telling you something now, that's exactly what Moyes wanted to achieve from this tournament at this stage. We are through to the last 16, and that's the positives we need to take from this situation. I'm going to jump into the comments just now, see what everyone is saying. Neil from Down Under, not too sure Moyes would be really happy, but after that performance, I agree with you, Neil. I do. I think he'll take the positives, but he'll be extremely probably pissed off at not putting the ball in the back of the net a lot more, which I think we should have done. I don't want to be a broken record with it, but we were doing. Vinay only saw the last 20 minutes. Was it all boring? I don't think it was boring. I really don't think it was boring. Again, it just goes back to if we'd put the ball in the back of the net 4 or 5 more times, we'd be writing home about, oh, what a dominant performance this, dominant performance that. It was a great performance from West Ham. It just didn't convert the chances that we had again, and that is literally where our season is at just now. You know, if we start converting, the whole thing's different. Everything's different, and we'll start bouncing up that league. Ben Rama had a couple of really strong chances tonight, and I don't really know how he didn't put the ball into the back of the net as did the likes of Fornals. Fornals had, again, for him, another couple of really strong chances that he should have put into the back of the net, but it was very unfortunate, and you could see he was gutted when he came off the park. He wasn't gutted for being substituted. He was gutted because he knew he could have put the ball in the back of the net a few more times. I mean, listen, we found space, we found overlapping runs. Again, we've got to respect the opposition, but I predicted it before the game came on. I totally predicted it before the game came on. I knew that they were going to struggle, and I knew this was going to be a much different game to playing them on their home turf because they have AstroTurf. It was a no-brainer, and I think Moyes knew that, especially with his team selection. He had played the confidence. He wanted to get the confidence out of the squad, and that's exactly what he's done tonight. He's came in, he's asked for what he's wanted to do, but there's absolutely no ifs or buts about it. He will be frustrated at us not putting the ball in the back of the net a lot more, which is what we really needed to do tonight. If anyone is interested in coming on, then I will give you, let me just put this over here. Let me just open up another screen for you. There's so many comments. Where are we? Bear with me. Right. Okay, so I'll put this in. You've got an opportunity to dial the number coming along the bottom, and that means that you can come on and have your say for the game itself. West Ham winning 1-0, qualifying for the last 16, doing the job, getting the job done, and that's exactly what we really needed to do. And now we can just fully concentrate on the last games for the run-in we've got for the Premier League and the League Cup. And just get the job bloody done, which is what we wanted to do tonight. So let me just make sure this is sharing the audio. Let me just add that to the screen, and then I'll go solo layout. Right, you're more than welcome now to dial in, and you'll get on to the stream. I'll jump through the comments and see what everyone else is saying. Where are we? Moyes loves a clean sheet. That is very, very true. He does love a clean sheet, especially when we've brought a player like Aguerd back in to the equation. So that is another absolute extreme positive. And like I said, it's not just the fact it's Aguerd, the quality player that he looks like he is. It's the fact that we've got another strong defender back, and that all changes the dynamics of our team. You know, if you've got Aguerd, you've got Dawson, you've got Ogbonna, you've got Tilo Kira, you've got Sufal, you've got Ben Johnson, Creswell, Emerson, all firing all cylinders, all challenging each other to get game time. That is exactly the position we want to find ourselves in. So Moyes will be happy with that side of things. But like I said, it will really fall down on the performance of not putting more balls in the back of the net, when in actual fact there was a lot of clear-cut chances and we probably should have as well. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Nice to be in the round of 16. Now let's concentrate on the league. I couldn't agree with you anymore. And the exciting thing about the Bucharest game is I think we'll see a mixture of players playing in that. I don't think we'll see your regular first teamers. I don't think you'll throw all the young ones on the park instantly straight away for that game. But I think it will be really good to see what they're all capable of doing on a day. So it's going to be mixed up, which is going to be good for West Ham, and definitely exciting to see as well. Adam Cook says, nothing fancy, just solid performance. Got the job done. No worries until March. Lovely. Absolutely. Really nice to be in that position. 15 out of 15, man. There's, of course, there'll be winners. Come on, you Irons. Tell you what else we need to think about is that's the 6th straight win at home for West Ham. 6th straight win at home for West Ham. That's a massive achievement. Second string midfield as well. Great to see the Silk players walking over to thank their travelling fans. Do you know what? I really quite like Silkeborg's style of play, apart from the fact that several times I felt like they put themselves in a lot of pressure in the defence, which they did by playing the ball back out, playing the ball out of defence from the back, and really inviting West Ham to press, do a high press. They play a lot of risky football, but you've got to give them credit, and the credit, it comes from the fact that they like one-touch football. I mean, I think I've got the amount of times they touched the ball, or the amount of passes that they made tonight. They made, where is it here? 594 passes they made tonight, in comparison to West Ham's 656. I mean, they're away from home, so obviously they're used to playing a specific style of football on the AstroTurf. They've tried to emulate that tonight, and I felt like our big park was going to always be too much for them tonight. And again, for me, it was a completely dominant, professional performance from West Ham. We've done a job. Turned up. We've done the job. We've done what we needed to do tonight, and lots of players got a run out. Players that I didn't expect to get a run out. Downs, Souček, Rice, Skamaka. They all came on the park and played their bit in the game tonight, which again, like I said, I didn't expect to see. Rob's projected wall says, "Come on, you Irons. We needed another playmaker with Ben Rama." Listen, I really thought Ben Rama had a good game. He just, again, didn't put the ball in the back of the net, and it's going to fall down onto his final, his end product, which is what David Moyes has always said about Ben Rama. So I'm going to get you his individual stats for the game, actually. Give me 2 seconds. I'll bring them up for you. Saeed Ben Rama, he played 68 minutes. He had 2 shots on target, 2 shots off target. He was 100% successful in his dribble attempts. He had 51 touches. He had 86% pass completion, 1 key pass. He was successful in 100% of his duels. He lost possession 8 times. He was fouled once, 1 offside, and he made 1 interception. So there was Benny's results for you tonight. So a good performance from him. Let's take a look at Aguerd, someone we've obviously not seen much this season, and wait till you see his heat map. I'll see if I get a chance to do that over the next couple of days, but there is so much going on. But before we do that, we're going to go live. I think we are going to go live to the studio. No, we're not. It's just gone away again. So let me give you the Aguerd stats for you. 76 minutes played, 1 interception, 1 tackle, 100% ground duels won, 50% aerial duels won, lost possession 7 times. Now, you ready for this? Your geezer had 98 touches. He had a 93% success pass rate. Accurate long balls. He made 11 attempts accurate at long balls, and he made 8 of them. and he had one shot off target. The guy is a quality footballer. Are we going to go live now to the stadium? Let's do it. Here we go. Let's bring in DJ Russie B. DJ Russie B, mate. Talk to me.
Pretty boring, wasn't it? It was a pretty boring game. Let's be honest. It was. I know we did the job, but it was quite boring today. I was quite bored. I'll be honest. What
Russ,
what did you think?
Do you think that? Here's one for you. Do you think if we had put the ball in the back of the net 4 more times, which is what we deserve to do, we just couldn't do it, that we would be saying it was a boring performance? That's just the kind of, you know.
Of course you wouldn't. Of course you wouldn't. The amount of time, the amount of shots we had on off target, the amount of times that, you know, we got into good scoring positions and the cross wasn't there. It just wasn't a very good game. I wasn't. Both sides, you know, Silkeborg, for all their attacking endeavour, the fact they scored all these goals in, you know, all these games. I think they had 1 shot on 2 shots maybe in the second half.
They never really. I mean, they didn't. I mean, I classified it as a dominant, low-scoring affair with no real intent from, you know, Silkeborg. They ran the risk so many times, mate.
Yeah.
They played the ball along their 18-yard box. They put themselves under pressure. They forced West Ham to press. I thought we pressed. We done a job, but mate, we tonight's all about. David Moyes walked off the park a bit frustrated. You could see him frustrated, and his frustration falls on one thing and one thing alone. He is going to go into that change room and go, "How the hell have we not put the ball into the back of the net any more than what we have?"
Exactly.
That obviously seems to be writing the story of our season so far. That's where it comes down to. 15 shots we had tonight, Russ. 5 on target, 10 off target. And some of the chances, I'm talking about Silkeborg handing balls to our players on a plate.
Yeah.
Within 8 yards of the goal and still hitting it wide. And at one point when I was doing the match day live, I was like, why are we not putting this ball in the back of the net? Like, what is going on?
I know, and it was just one of those games where you literally is like, for fuck's sake, just put it in the back of the net. Yeah. And you could feel the frustration on the bench as well, because it kept on cutting onto Moyes, and he was like, oh my god.
Yeah, you could see it. At one point, actually, he actually turned away from the game when I think it was a glancing header from Benny that went just wide, and I think that was on the back of like 3 or 4 consecutive glancing chances that just went wide. And then when the camera focused on him, he turned round to the bench. He was just looking at the bench.
Yeah.
Like that. And so the positives, Russ, the positives are we've done the job, mate. We put the Conference League to bed for 4 months.
Yeah,
4 fucking months.
Yeah, not till March now. March the 9th or something like that, isn't it now? So that's, I mean, job. I mean, you know, in the, you know, when you look at the paper, job done, top of the league, won the group, another clean sheet, another home win. That's the positives. 6
home wins on the trot, mate.
Yeah, hasn't been done for over 10 years. But it should have been a lot more simpler. It should have been a lot more simpler.
Yeah.
You know, in an ideal world, I wouldn't have even brought on anyone else. You know, giving Souček 10 minutes, and then he got a knock, didn't he, quite early on when he came on. And it's like that sort of risk. It just looked quite. It was just. I mean, I feel honest. I was there. I was quite bored, and I don't usually get bored, but I was quite bored today. Maybe.
I mean, people who were watching the match day live did see me yawning quite a lot, and it was, and someone actually wrote, "Stop doing it, Anton. It's infectious." And when he said that, then I infected myself, and I was gone for the second half. And I think that was my frustration. My frustration was boredom from not putting the ball in the back of the net. You know, but Silkeborg, you know, mate, I said it. I felt like this game was always going to be different. I know when Matt came on, he said he felt just don't underestimate the opposition, and I get that to a certain extent. But I think the big issue Silkeborg have got is coming from a 4G pitch onto not just a grass pitch, but a very large football pitch.
Yeah,
and we're going to spread the game open. Yeah,
big old pitch. But I just thought, I think it would have been a more entertaining game if Silkeborg had a little bit more about them. You know, if they came out a little bit more, it was a bit more needle. It was a bit like a training game. In honesty, it felt like a pre-season friendly.
Do you know what? Yeah, that's exactly where it was at. But I tell you what, let's get on to another positive, mate. Talk to me about this geezer. Naif Aguerd.
Yeah, man's quality, isn't he? Man is quality. Man has got a touch on him. Man has got a pass on him. He's got some pace. You can see why Moyes wanted him to be the main man. You can see why he was Moyes' number one target 2 years ago, and he went for Zuma. And you can see why he's his main target this year. He is going to be brilliant.
Gravy, isn't he?
Different gravy. Straight away, within 5 minutes, he was pinging the balls.
Mate, I think there was Trini. I was in awe of the ball that he played, and I couldn't even get out of my mouth the amount of yards that he sprayed that ball. Yeah, and Trini in the chat was like, Anton, that was 80 yards, easily 80 yards,
easily. Yeah,
oh, 80 yards, pin perfect to Sufao, I think it was. Ridiculous pass. And then bang, his confidence was there. But it's not about him having the confidence. I think it's about him just getting the ball, playing in a competitive game and feeling comfortable in a competitive game. Now, the difference is, yes, I understand Silkeborg, third tier of European football, but that's where what a game to come in and get your experience in. He made a couple of slide tackles, but he completely dominated the back of that line, mate. I said a bold statement in the chat. I said, if he stays at that standard in terms of fitness-wise, I don't believe the Moyes conversation about not playing in the Premier League. I don't believe it.
No. I mean, in the same way you had Ross's face, you had Downs coming into the side, then Downs has, the best part of 3 man-of-the-match performances, and now he's forced himself into the first team. This is an opportunity to do that. And actually, for Ged, we know he's going to come in. We know when he's fully fit, he's going to be first team, first choice centre-back with Zuma playing right back. But he needed to get the yards. And, with today, next Thursday maybe, I could see him starting against Bucharest. Again, more game time. It was a perfect game for him to come in. And I just like how quick he is. The man's rapid. Absolutely rapid. Boston. Absolutely Boston.
I'll read through some comments then while you're on so people can see the background and see all the stadium and stuff like that. So unconvincing performance again. We need someone to run at the opposition defence, and we need to learn to take corners again. And do you know what? That's a valid point. We seem to become quite useless at corners. We can never seem to beat the first man. I'm a bit unsure about that. Like, what's going on there?
I think it's a matter of the personnel we're kicking it to. I think when you get someone like Dawson back in, when you get Tommy Souček, Dawson, again, he almost scored on a volley in the first half, back post, didn't he? So I think you're going to start getting some better corners coming in. But it just seemed, it's just some things that have happened last year where we were, we're banging the corners in, banging the set plays in. We weren't, this year was also in terms of first half goals, scoring the first half goals are very rare thing this season at West Ham. And we managed to do one, albeit a pretty dodgy penalty, to be honest.
Well, let's briefly talk about the penalty then. So, your man Antonio finds himself with a heavy ball played through to him. The keeper comes out, and I think Antonio knows, I just need to put my foot in front of that keeper, and I will. If I go down, I go down. Now, listen, the rule book does state. Listen, it's harsh. I'd be fucking raging if it happened to West Ham, but the rule book does state, mate. It does state that, if the goalkeeper makes a connection, the player falls down. But my only concern was it was completely away from goal. It was like a yard from the byline for the byline. But it was a pretty harsh decision, really. But tonight, that's the difference between West Ham winning the game.
Yeah, totally. You said it was a dodgy, and obviously the great thing about the Europa Conference until the final is there's no VAR. And to be honest, it's been our friend the last few weeks, both in Europa League, but also in the Premier League as well. Not having it has helped us in the conference. In the last game, there's a couple of contentious decisions, which is nice. You can celebrate, as soon as decisions have been made. You don't have to go, where the instant like the Spurs thing last night. You don't get that, so it was quite nice. But I know what you mean. It was just I felt they were a little bit hard done by. I was surprised Silkeborg didn't really protest anymore, to be honest, than they did. They were very sort of Scandinavian side.
I think the keeper has a lot to say in that, to be honest, because in actual fact he looked really guilty. It reminded me of the Bournemouth second penalty where the defender who handled the ball against when we played Bournemouth. I mean, his reaction is what did not help the situation, and I think the Silkeborg keeper was exactly the same. But listen, Russ, we got the job done tonight, mate. That's really what it's about. I know people in the chat are going to get pissed off for me saying it, but I don't. I think if Moyes walks away, I think the key thing here now fans want to hear is what Moyes is going to say. So I can only picture him saying, "Do you know what, guys? We've got the job done. We're through. We can put the competition to bed. We can play some of the younger players for the last game. However, I need you to understand that I understand that we haven't put the chances away, and we do need to get better at that."
Totally, you're totally right. All those points. I think if you look at it pragmatically, we got the result done. We kept a clean sheet. We won the game. Hopefully, no injuries by the looks of it. And what could have been a banana skin wasn't a banana skin. I think it could have been a lot easier, as you said, if you put the chances away. And it's going to be interesting to see, the state of the squad come Sunday, really, in terms of the likes of. I mean, Bowen he wasn't in the squad today, although he was in the dugout. Cornet was going to miss today. Is he going to miss Sunday? Could do. What's happening with Paqueta? I know he's been training, but he wasn't nowhere near the squad today. I think with those three back in the squad, we looked bereft a little bit. It almost like Benny was trying to do it all again. It wasn't. He had much sort of much support really. So. I felt sorry for him, and I thought Fornals almost tried to overdo it a little bit.
Yeah, do you know what? I'd like to talk about Fornals for a second. I mean,
sure.
I love the guy. I'm not even going to sit here and slag him off. I felt really sorry for him tonight because when he came off as a sub, Russ, you would have seen it as well. Like, he was devastated, mate. He wasn't devastated. He was devastated at his own performance. He was actually. It wasn't. He did give the ball away a few times. He lost the ball a few times. And in actual fact, he had a couple of really clear-cut chances that he just hit the ball wide. And I did feel a bit sorry for him because I thought he's one of my favourites. He still is always going to be one of my favourites. And what I loved about that was he took the responsibility, mate, on his chin when he came off the field and realised, you know what, it wasn't my best performance tonight. But on that basis, he played 68 minutes. He had 60 touches. He had 86% pass completion, 3 key passes. He made 30% accurate passes, crosses. He was 100% accurate with his long balls. He had 1 shot on target, 2 shots off target. He was 100% successful in his dribble attempts. He won over half of his ground duels, over half of his aerial duels. He was fouled once. He had 2 offsides, and he lost possession 13 times. So it just shows you, no end product, but he still did do a hell of a lot of work.
Yeah, he did. But as you said, I think the trouble is people will look at those missed chances, particularly in the second half where it was literally passed to him. And there was an opportunity. There's an opportunity. We don't know the state of we don't know the state of Paqueta. So there is an opportunity for a spot in the side. Anyone who had a really good game, could have put their name in the hat, for the weekend. But that's what I thought. I thought, okay, Fornals is going to get a game. He's going to have a go, and just in a lot of. Someone said it in the chat, a lot of huff and puff, and that sort of, and the stats sort of show that he was there. He was everywhere, huff and puffing, but there was no that end product.
Good point here from Mandy. We are top of the group using second string players. I mean, I think I would like to actually look at the stats now from the 5 games we've played in this group stage. How many players have been used and switched around? And Mandy, you make a really valid point. You know what? He's used the competition to rotate the squad, and we've won 5 games out of 5 against a team that people were worried about. They turned up. They scored 10 goals against FCSB.
Yeah.
And we're 100% record in Europe this year, and we've played 7 games, mate.
Yeah. It's. I mean, that's impressive. I mean, but realistically, we should. The look at the caliber of the teams we're playing, we should be doing that. The Europa League sort of surprised me a little bit, but then last year in terms of how well we played, but then we didn't have the best groups draw, to be honest. Like Zagreb and stuff, sort of fodder really. And you see how the other teams. I mean, bloody Anderlecht drew 2-2 with Boots at FCSB today, so it's like they, there's nothing in the rest of the squad, rest of the league really. I hope Silkeborg only the point, don't they, on Sunday next week, I think, to qualify or something like that. And I bloody well they do, because their fans are great. But yeah, we should be dominating this tournament, really, based on the caliber of our squad. But as you said, our second string squad, really. But still, he still brings on Declan Rice. He still brings on Skamaka. He still brings on Tommy Soucek. He still brings them on. So, yes, we started with our second string, but he still needs that extra bit of the cavalry to come on just to shore up the game at the end.
Let me jump through some of the comments and see what everyone else is saying. Vinay says, "Is this team gelling?" Oh, you all right? All safe there?
Right. Yes.
Is this team gelling? Some good signs with Downs and Benny getting more game time.
It's a very yes and no. I think the trouble is, because we are changing the side, we haven't got a settled second string side, do we, either? So we are playing different formations, different selections. So, if we get everyone fit and everyone's better than we have a settled second side, then I think we will gel. I think, good to see Coventry get some minutes today. He got a nice clap from Moisey and Kevin Nolan and stuff when he came off.
Great game.
Well, he played well, assured. Wasn't really tested, to be honest. It was a good game for him to come in. Thought Lanzini tried well.
Yeah, good game from Lanzini. Yeah,
he's got his foot in a little. Got his foot in. He's trying to make that, obviously, that second string sort of number 8 role himself, make it his own. So it gives him an opportunity to do that. For Antonio, huffed and puffed a little bit for my liking. He always does. And defensively, he played all right. Just the crossing was appalling. I didn't find the crossing very good at all.
Yeah, no, you're right, mate. No, you definitely are right there. Daniela Stewart says, "Okay, I can understand the disappointment if it was a 1 game a week, but we're playing 3 in 7 days, 4 in 11." Another valid point there. Yeah,
very true. But we're playing. How many of that side that started to go started the last game? Ben Johnson. Was that it?
That started the what game?
That started the Bournemouth game.
Yeah, Ben Johnson. Going through it. Antonio didn't know. I realized. No. Yeah. Ben Johnson.
So it's only one player. So I know what Daniela means, definitely. But this team didn't start on Sunday. And so and the team that starts on Sunday, most of them won't be playing. Won't have been this lot in terms of the starting positions, I'd imagine. So. But then it shows what you said in terms of having a big enough squad now that we can do that rotation and almost play 2 sides now.
Well, interestingly, on that point as well, that I noticed that if you think about that team that you're talking about tonight that done the job and got the deal over the line, you looked at our bench tonight and the strength and depth was fucking phenomenal with us. And on top of that, mate, we've got players coming back into the squads to add to that. And that's going to make for an exciting challenge for Mr. David Moyes, because I mean, no Cornet, no Paqueta, no Dawson, no Tilo Kira not starting, Declan Rice, Soucek. It's all positive stuff. Really is.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it. When you look at it like that, as you said, it's positive. We've still got the bench. You said we've still got players to come in as well. Yeah, Nayev coming back in is a huge boost. And that's what we want. We want Moyes to have headaches. We want him to have selection issues. Not trying to scrabble around to find a back 4. but actually have maybe 4 fit centre halves, and he can pick the best 2 or the best 3 for that game.
And I think the thing, and I think the thing is though, like, a lot of these players that we're talking about are game changers in terms of team selection. I mean, Bowen, for example, we haven't mentioned Bowen. Bowen wasn't even there either, but a lot of these players we're talking about are game changers. They're either players that will come into the first team and they change games. Like, if we even talk about Cornet, for example, every game he's featured in for West Ham before his injury, he was effective. He was involved in a goal or creating a goal of some sort. So was Paqueta. So was Jared Bowen. Dawson, coincidentally, came back into the team and suddenly we stopped conceding goals. We had to play with a makeshift back line. Now we've got options: Sifal, Johnson, Kira out at right back. We've got Dawson, Ogbonna, Zuma, Aguerd at centre back. We've got Creswell, we've got Emerson, we've got Paqueta, Corney, Fornals, Lanzini, Rice, Downs, Suchek. Like, it's there's numbers there now. There's numbers there now.
Totally. And you can see with Aguerd coming into the side, you can see Moyes' thought process between getting him, because he moves things forward from an attack perspective. What I really liked about him today, particularly, was how quick he's passing in. You look at a lot of players will pass and it'll bobble and get to the player, but he was firing these passes in, or even the crossfield balls had real pace on, and you can see him from the back. You've got Zuma as a blocker. You've got Kira on the right back. We've got a good side when everyone's fit, a really good side when everyone's fit.
And they are very close to being there, Russ, as well. And they're very close to being there just as we're about to break up for the winter break.
Exactly, when they all go to the World Cup and get injured and come back.
Neil from Down Under saying, and good to see you, Neil, thank you for joining us, 14 shots and only 4 on target. They had 4 shots and 3 on target as well. Teams have found us out, Matt. Offside 6 times from Neil from Down Under. Matt Foster says Man United could roll us over on Sunday. I'd take a draw. Matt, I think on our day we're more than capable of doing a job at Man United, and again on our off day, they could roll us over. But if Moyes sets up in the way that he did against Liverpool, and we get our shooting boots on, then you've got to go into that game feeling remotely a little bit confident. Surely, to God, you are.
Definitely, especially. I mean, they played tonight as well, so they'll have the same amount of rest as we'll have. But we'll have a fresh side, pretty much a fresh side playing. So maybe with the likes of maybe Dawson back in. Who knows? There's no Dawson around today. Maybe Paqueta. Who knows? We just don't know. So
absolutely. Let me read through some of the comments. Hammer time 666. We need to put our chances away against United. Shot practice next few training sessions. Narky says Coventry look good. Love Downs and Coventry in the middle. Mandy G says man of the match. Make sure tomorrow you do join DJ Russie B as he goes through all the player ratings. He gives you a chance to come on and give your views as well if you want to. You can get engaged. It's a very interactive show, so get involved there tomorrow as well. James Bong says, good day, Neil. Alan Dunn says, Aguerd looks class. Emerson was good. Lanzini took his goal well. Coventry played well. And Johnson had a good game too. Man of the match from Adam Cook was Benny, but should have taken one of his chances. Papaz said Aguerd was fantastic. WHUFC says, man of the match contenders were Coventry and Benny. Narky says Johnson and Aguerd complemented each other. Do you know what? Valid point, Narky. I think they probably did, actually. Yeah. Something I noticed about Aguerd, I don't know if you clocked it, mate, but every single one of his passes was in front of the player.
Yeah.
So what he was doing was not slowing the game down. He was speeding the West Ham attack up.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to say.
So by doing what he was doing, he was forcing Johnson to go forward. And sometimes I've noticed recently, and we all have, that we're slow in the uptake sometimes. We go forward and we're a little bit slower in the uptake. But Aguerd's ability to read the game, that's one of his biggest attributes. That's what David Moyes says. That's what, when you read the scout reports, say his biggest attribute is the ability to read the football game. Then you add all the other stuff to it, and you've got a very top-notch player there. But tonight, every time he received the ball, 9 times out of 10, each pass was getting put in front of the player, forcing Ben Johnson to step forward. He was clever enough to know that I'm not going to put that ball in the path of the opposition player, because I think I read the stats out earlier on. I don't know if you missed them for Aguerd.
Yeah, I missed them.
I'll get them for you as well. It's just taking a little while if it comes up. It's taking so long. I do apologize. Come on. It's coming. Just trying to find our club. There we are. Right. So I'll give you the Aguerd stats in a minute. WHUFC is saying Aguerd looked class. Yes, you can say that again. So Aguerd's stats for tonight were he played 76 minutes. He had 1 interception, 1 tackle, 100% ground duels won, 50% aerial duels won. He had 98 touches, of which he completed 93% accurate passes. He had 11 attempts at long balls, and he completed 8 of them. He only lost possession 7 times, and he had 1 shot off target. Not bad for a debut performance.
Not bad for a centre-back as well, isn't it?
Bad for a centre-back, mate. He's so comfortable on the ball, so comfortable at shooting, you name it. I mean, when that opportunity at the end there as well was... sorry, before you came off.
Also, I mean, you look at it, and he seems to really... I mean, everyone was slapping his hand. Everyone was giving him a hug pre-match as well. You know, making his debut. Just seems to get it. Yeah. Some players get it.
Cockney Buccaneer says, do we look likely winners of the Europa Conference? Do we look like being top 6 this season in the Prem? We look like also runs in both. Now, on the back of what you're saying, Cockney, I think I get what you're trying to say. You know, we're looking for free-flowing football and it's not there yet. But there's glimpses of it. There is glimpses of it. Is that a team that can go on and do well in a season? Absolutely, they can. Absolutely. You know, some of the best teams in the world have gone through patches of a season by not playing well but grinding out results.
Yeah.
Just
totally.
Saying. Yeah.
Totally. And you can see with every player that's coming back from fitness, so with Aguerd coming back in, you can see how he's fitting into the Moyes idea in terms of the Moyes way of playing. And so I think it's slowly but surely. I know we're talking about this transition. You can see the green shoots. And as long as they give him time to, you know, crack on with this, then I think we'll be fine. But
I think this is the thing, Russ. We knew October was going to be very important, right? We're now coming into November. We've got a few more Premier League games to go. We've got the League Cup to go. We put the conference now, the tournament to bed. What we need to do. You know what? Let's get ourselves to the winter break. Let's get all the players back. Let's finish on a high for the winter break. And when they come back ready to rock and roll in December, at that point, then you would hope for a little bit more connection between the team, a little bit more flow between the team. Now, listen, that's how things should work on paper. We all know sometimes that does not happen because we're West Ham, after all.
Very true.
Right. Antonio was going nowhere apart from out. The keeper didn't need to do anything. Rob's is saying, go on, I'm going to say it, we are massive. Antonio bought the pen and the ref paid him double. We are missing Dawson's aerial attacks, attacking the space in front of him from free kicks and corners. Hope Skamaka takes some inspiration. Ben Rama thought Anderlecht would be better. I'm old enough to have seen the 1970 World Cup, Cup Winners' Cup final with a certain Van der Vels. Yep, absolutely. Dad loved him. We only needed a draw. I'm glad Moyes rested players. Got to consider Sunday's game. Rice never started, John. True, my bad. Sometimes I assume always in. We won with the B team. Right, there's so many comments in there. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll leave. Is Russ on level 8? Freshfielder saying.
Level 6. Level 6 today. It's a nightmare to park.
Yeah. Audi is saying this level is standard, but today we looked one most smooth and free flowing. Bowen, stay on. What? This level is standard, but today we looked most smooth and free flowing. I can't understand that one as well. Great stats there. Yep, they were. Rusty in the path and away from the Moors. Right, yeah. So listen, that really brings an end to the show. I hope you've enjoyed it. There you go, live link up from the stadium as well, giving you the commentary. I hope you've enjoyed your session. West Ham have qualified for the round of 16. We've got one more game to go in the Conference League group stages. We play FCSB, Steaua Bucharest, away to them next week, but we'll see a whole new team out there, and it's and I don't think it will be a full 11, Russ, because I don't think you're going to send them away to an away ground like Bucharest.
And also the fans as well. The fans, I was saying to Phil and Jake today, the fans are going all the way over to Bucharest. There'll be a big bunch still going over. You don't want to watch them play under 23 game. No disrespect to the boys, but and I actually, as we've said, the likes of Agard will want another 60 minutes. The likes of Ogbonna wants game time. The likes of Sue Fowler will be wanting game time. Fornaz will be wanting game time. So I think there'll be one or two for sure. Maybe Forson. That type of thing. But it's not going to be a widespread. Even when we did the Zagreb one, we only had like six or seven at the end, really. So, yeah.
But listen, make sure you do go and join DJ Russie B tomorrow for the West Ham review show, where he'll be giving you the ratings as well as all your views. If you haven't already, go and check out the content we've been putting out on the channel. Straight after this, there will be a fan reaction from Holly, so make sure you do check that out as well. Stay safe, subscribe to the channel if you're interested in becoming a channel member, then click the join option, hit the thumbs up. Russ, final words from you, and then we'll say au revoir.
Come you irons, I'm knackered.
Irons.